mga bansa. May detalye dito si Madeline Villar Moratillo.
Patuloy sa pagtaas ngayon ng bilang ng mga naitatalang kaso ng coronavirus disease 2019 sa bansa. Ayon sa Department of Health, ito'y matapos na makapagtala sila ng 9 na bago pang kaso ng COVID-19.
This brings the total number of confirmed cases in the country to 33.
Nilinaw rin ng DOH na taliwas sa una nilang inanunsyo na 11 ang bagong kaso, 9 lamang ang bagong COVID case sa bansa. Matapos ang kanilang verifikasyon, natukoy na naisama sa bilang ang 2 sampol na una na nilang nasuri.
Upon verification, DOH reported that 2 of the new positive samples received by the Epidemiology Bureau of DOH are repeat tests on samples taken from patients 7 and 8. The 13 new cases are admitted at various hospitals. Dr. Jose N. Rodriguez Memorial Hospital and Sanitarium for patient 21, Cardinal Santos Medical Center for patient 22, San Lazaro Hospital for patient 23, St. Luke's Medical Center, Quezon City for patient 24, New Clark City Quarantine Facility for patients 25 to 26, and the Medical City for patients 27 to 33 respectively.
Kasama sa mga bagong kaso ng COVID positive na ito, ang 2 repatriates mula sa MV Diamond Princess cruise ship sa Japan at nasa New Clark City sa Tarlac kung saan sila nagka-quarantine. Ang 2 pasyente na ito kapwa asymptomatic o walang sintomas ng virus. Ang mga bagong kaso na ito, puro mga Filipino. Batay sa datos ng DOH, 10 sa mga kaso ng COVID-19 wala ring travel history. Kaya ayon kay Vergere, inaalam rin nilang mabuti kung paano nagkaroon ng virus ang mga ito. Sa ngayon, hindi pa rin anya nila inirekomenda ang lockdown.
We're doing gene sequencing because with this, we're now using science para malaman natin kung talagang may mga relasyon and we have evidence to back us up if ever we will declare sustained community transmission. Doon ka nagkaroon ng kaso, kapag tinest ko yung katabi ko, makikita natin galing din bang Taiwan yung COVID na nakuha mo o
samantala, nilinaw naman ni Vergere na walang namatay na pasyente na positibo sa COVID-19.
Hindi pa ho sila patay. Isa ho ating, gusto nating klaruhin yan, no? So, yun pong ating mga pasyente, yung ating 62-year-old male na patient number 6 at saka yung ating patient number 9. 86 years old male, pareho silang buhay pa ho sila. Yung 62-year-old male at saka yung 86-year-old male, sila po pareho ay guarded ang condition.
Bilang paghahanda naman sa worst case scenario, inatasan na ng DOH ang mga government hospital na wag munang tumanggap ng mga pribadong pasyente para maireserba at magamit na isolation room ang kanilang mga pribadong kwarto. Para sa Eagle News, Madeline Villar Moratillo, I'm 1 with 25.
Samantala, sa harap naman ng patuloy na pagtaas ng kaso ng coronavirus disease sa bansa, kumpiyansa pa rin si Pangulong Duterte na malalampasan ng Pilipinas ang sakit na ito. Si Vin Pascua sa detalye.
Inabisuhan ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ang mga magulang na panatilihin muna ang kanilang mga anak sa kanilang mga tahanan. Ito'y kasunod ng pagbabantay ng gobyerno sa banta ng coronavirus disease 2019 sa bansa.
Yung COVID-19 is here. It is a contagion. It has not reached the level of an epidemic in our assessment, and neither is it pandemic. But if you read and view TV, you would notice that the numbers of victims are galloping.
Nais nito na matiyak ang kaligtasan ng mga kabataan sa Metro Manila at mapigilan o mabawasan ang maaari pang maitalang COVID-19 cases. Tiniyak din nito na babantayan ng health at local official kung makakabawas ito sa posibleng maging biktima nito.
Reason being that parang tignan natin yung incubation period, which is not ordinarily like a normal virus, 3 or 4, ito umaabot ng 14 days. So, itong 14 days na ito, one is to keep safe the children. Second is that we're going to establish a benchmark kung ilan pa ang madagdagan. At ngayon, kung itong walang klase, would it somehow reduce the number of the victims?
Tiniyak naman ng Pangulo na kayang sugpuin ng gobyerno ang COVID-19.
Hindi ito magtatagal.
Sir?
I am confident that we will survive this contagion. I assure you, we have the money. We can defeat it.
Samantala, inatasan na ng Pangulo ang Department of Interior and Local Government o DILG maging ang mga pulis na tiyakin na nananatiling nasa kanilang mga tahanan ang mga mag-aaral. Para sa Eagle News, Ven Pascua, I am one with 25.
Pinagtibay ng House panel ang nasa 1.65 billion pesos na dagdag sa budget para sa Department of Health para labanan ng COVID-19. Ang nasabing halaga ay mas mababa kumpara sa panukalang budget ni na Albay Representative Joey Salceda at Health Committee Chairperson Representative Angelina Tan. Samantala, patuloy ang mahigpit na pagpapatupad ng preventive measures sa Kamara kontra COVID-19. Si Eden Santos sa detalye.
Inaprubahan na ng House Committee on Appropriations ang 1.65 billion pesos na supplemental budget para sa COVID-19. Ito ang kinumpirma mismo ni House Majority Leader at later Representative Martin Romualdez. Binigyan din naman ni House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano na handa pa rin ang Kamara sakaling magpatawag ng special session si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte para sa karagdagan pang budget. Ang nasabing halaga ay mas mababa sa panukalang budget ni na Albay Representative Joey Salceda at Health Committee Chairperson Representative Angelina Tan.
We face now a very important and a very concerning issue, which is the ENCOV issue. The House Committee on Appropriation has already passed a measure, which is a supplemental budget in anticipation for the executive's need, if need be, to have a supplemental budget to address the ENCOV issue, which is a very pressing issue that faces all Filipinos, both here and abroad.
The House is on standby, so anytime the President calls a special session, we'll be ready. It's a challenge for us not to call off sessions kasi may concerns talaga. Lalo pag bukas yung opisina, di ba, constituents mo labas-pasok. But ang tingin namin, we have to project cautiousness but normalcy.
Pinabulaanan naman ni Cayetano ang ulat na may empleyado ng Kamara na nagpositibo sa virus. Patuloy ang mahigpit na pagpapatupad ng preventive measures sa Kamara kontra COVID-19.
There are no documented cases of COVID-19 in the House of Representatives. The following are the facts about 3 printing personnel who are rumored to be infected with the COVID disease. One was confined for a non-COVID disease and was discharged. One was confined yesterday for suspected dengue and is still in the hospital. And one has been in and out of the hospital since last year for various ailments and is presently in the ICU for community-acquired pneumonia. Everyone is advised to refrain from sharing unverified report and false news. Confirm all information with the Office of the SecGen.
Para sa Eagle News, Eden Santos, I am one with 25.
Samantala, tunghayan naman natin ang isinasagawang pagdinig ng Kamara sa issue ng coronavirus disease.
Sa isang area, sa isang komunidad,
Madam Chairperson. Thank you, Representative Ilago. Do we have guests from UPNIH?
Madam Chair.
At least yung doctor who developed the rapid testing kit. Okay.
Madam Chair.
Anyway, before we proceed, may I recognize the presence of Representative Ruth Hernandez, our Vice Chair from 2nd District, Laguna, and Representative Pingping Tejada from 3rd District, Cotabato. May I recognize now Representative Gato for his interpellation. You have 5 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For Dr. Salvador, May I know if the thermal scanners are functioning?
Yes, sir. Yan ang pinaka-primary tool natin to evaluate passengers from affected country kaya para ma-screen natin kung meron silang possible signs and symptoms of the disease.
Are they being utilized also for domestic?
Ang mandate po kasi namin, sir, is points of entry. Pero pwede rin pong gamitin yan sa kung magkaroon talaga ng increased number of patient or community spread, pwede rin pong gamitin sa domestic airport po.
Pero sa ngayon, hindi nyo pa ginagamit sa mga domestic travelers?
Ano lang po, points of entry po.
May I ask the DOH if pwedeng gamitin na yon for domestic travels, ang thermal scanners?
In view of that, Madam Chair, I have spoken to the director of BOQ and informed me that the airlines have already actually purchased the thermal guns in the domestic airports. So that should be sufficient for now. But certainly a thermal scanner would have been a more ideal equipment to use. But since we have also limited resources, we have just added 20 from the initial 38, precisely to ensure that the major ports of entry, Paliparan, ang Pantalan, ay makumpleto po ito.
Thank you. Dr. Carlos, yung sinasabi yung test kit, yung under research pa, how long would it take for the research to be validated para magamit for regular?
Sir, I'm sorry, I am not privy to the plans, the detailed plans on how long the research process will go on. So I'm sorry, I have no data on that.
So right now, without the rapid test kits, yung mga available na diagnostic natin na equipments are iilan lang, no? Hindi ba pwede bawat probinsya meron, lalo na sa mga malalayong lugar katulad ng Batanes?
Just to give a simple explanation to the members of the committee, this is not a point-of-care test kit na parang urinalysis or CBC. It's a polymerase chain reaction-based test where you need 3 special areas in the lab, the pre-PCR, the PCR, and the post-PCR. And there are air handling and biosafety conditions which should be observed in those areas. There can be no contamination, there can be no, other factors which may affect the results. So only facilities which have capability to establish this type of testing facilities should be able to do the test. Not in definitely not in the field, not in the local barangays.
Madam Chair, if I may, just very quickly, if I may be able to interject. Dr. Carlos, kung isahin lang natin, the requirement is a biosafety level 3 laboratory.
At least 2A po.
A 2A. How many 2A laboratories do we have in the Philippines? And how many BSL-3 laboratories do we have?
We have only one BSL-3, which is in RITM. Biosafety level 3 po yun. Yung biosafety level 2, we have several but not too many. Mostly based in the academe, research facilities.
Not in district, provincial, and regional hospitals. Just
I have not seen any biosafety cabinets.
So it explains why we cannot just easily replicate it, because every time you turn on the machine, you need 3 million. So pag hindi mo na ginagamit yan, the regional hospital or the provincial hospital should have a minimum of 3 million pesos a month just to turn on the machine. Ganun po yung machine na yun.
So yung rapid test kits, kung sakaling ma-approve yon, later on, parang screening test lang yon.
Yes, sir. I think
And
that's the...
pwede yun sa mga
Apo.
probinsya or mga other ordinary hospitals, just in case ma-approve.
It may not require a setup as complicated as the current protocol. because they say it takes only about 2 hours. But certainly, I expect that they may need some amount of equipment as well. Because you have infected samples, you have to deactivate the samples so that and then you isolate ang tawag po doon, RNA, that's the parang structure of the virus, chemical structure of the virus before you can do the test.
And
So there are still some complicated steps.
Lastly, I would like to commend the Department of Health and the WHO for the tremendous job they have taken, despite the limitations that we all know. I also enjoin the public to listen more to the Department of Health and WHO and follow their directives and instructions.
Thank you, Representative Gato. May I call on from Minority, Representative Janet Garin.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Let me take off because the discussion was on the testing kit, and I do acknowledge the presence of Dr. Rabi here from the World Health Organization. Secretary, umabot po kasi na hanggang si Presidente na po ang nagsabi, meron na tayong testing kit. At marami pong kumakalat na ito po yung bayad, ito mura lang, 1,200. Yung ginagamit ng RITM ngayon is between 8 to 10,000 to 12,000. For the record, pakiklaro po kung meron po bang bayad ang ginagamit ng RITM.
Wala pong bayad yung 6,000 testing na sinasagawa ng RITM.
Yeah.
At,
Secretary, for the record, walang bayad ang testing kit na ginagamit natin ngayon because it is provided by the WHO through Dr. Rabi, and it's coming from the laboratory that you have commissioned in Berlin, in Germany. Moving forward, ano po ba ang proseso? Kasi let me clarify, ako po suportado ang Filipino scientists. But we are very much afraid that in our desire to have a testing kit, we now forget the safeguards that should be installed. Unang-una po, ang narinig ko po at nakita ko sa FDA press release, if I am right, Secretary Duque, they gave a certificate of exemption. Can the Secretary clarify what a certificate of exemption means?
I hope Dr. Rabi can also complement my answer. My understanding, limited as it is that the FDA approved it. So I don't know if it is an approval by way of exemption or it is an approval.
What they issued, Honorable Secretary, is a certificate of exemption. Ibig po sabihin nun, hindi na dumaan sa parang they're exempted in passing through FDA. However, the FDA is actually the only Philippine agency that caters to safety and efficacy of medicines, vaccines, and devices. So ako po bilang isang doktor at bilang isang nanay, ay natatakot pagka ang FDA, winave nila. I'm sorry, if I may be given some more time. Dr. Rabi, I'm sorry, I forgot. I thought you can speak Tagalog. It gives me a lot of discomfort as a mother, as a doctor, and as a legislator that a very important agency, the Food and Drug Agency, is waiving its capability and expertise in terms of licensing devices, because this can extend to medicines and vaccines. The FDA is the only agency in the Philippines that caters to safety and efficacy of all these devices, medicines, and drugs. So may I inquire from the Secretary how an exemption was granted and what is the basis of such?
I'm sorry, I'm not in the know how the operational processes work. But we can ask the DG to write you a letter to respond to the query. But the ideal scenario would have been to subject such a test, rapid diagnostic test, that is currently being developed or has already been developed by the team led by Dr. Destura together with the Department of Science and Technology. That normally that should go through the vetting process of the WHO Emergency Use Lab. Pero tumatagal with the FDA's endorsement. to
Yes,
the WHO.
because, Secretary, as far as I can remember, a certificate of exemption is giving to medicines, vaccines, or devices that are under trial. If you want to proceed to a phase 1, a phase 2, or later on a phase 3 trial. Kaya nakakalin lang po sa taong bayan, and I think it is also not good to be telling the President that we have already a testing kit available, but the President has not been told that this has not been established in terms of specificity, sensitivity, and accuracy. Is the Secretary aware of the specificity of this? Ano po ang
I was told greater than 95% specificity and sensitivity. But of course, I want a document to really reflect that this is the level of confidence with when it comes to the specificity and sensitivity.
So it was a verbal report, Mr.
Yes,
Secretary?
because we were at the IATF with the President at the time. So we did not have the luxury of getting the...
Okay. I'm sorry, I need to cut you kasing oras ko po. If this has already an established specificity and sensitivity of more than 95%, i-explain ko lang po, if you will allow me, Madam Chair, a few more moments of the time. Specificity means, yung test na ito, pag nag-test siya at sinabi niyang positibo, COVID-19 talaga po ang nandiyan. Meaning, it's really specific for the causative agent, for the virus. Sensitivity naman means, konting galaw-galaw lang, masisira, hindi magiging reliable ang testing. Meaning, if this is a testing kit, the WHO recommends a specificity and a sensitivity of 95% at least. Ibig sabihin, 95% of the time, yung na-identify niya, yan talaga yon. What is the danger of this? If we have testing kits na pinakalat sa Pilipinas, pinagpaniwala natin yung presidente na okay ito, what if the specificity is 80%? Ibig sabihin, sa 100 na tinest mo, meron kang 20 na naging negatibo, pero positibo pala. At doon naman sa sensitivity, meron kang 100, kung 70% lang siya or 50%, meron kalahati na akala mo positive, nagkagulo-gulo na, ninervyos na yung pala negatibo. So this is very important because all test kits has to go through RITM, which is the National Reference Lab for Emerging Infectious Diseases. And if we have Filipino scientists that has developed a testing kit, they should immediately apply as a component, as a part of the EUL, emergency use list of the WHO. May we inquire from Dr. Rabi, Madam Chair, the process by which testing kits are validated?
Representative Garin, I just want to remind you that will be the last question. We can, you can register for another round. And then
Madam
we'll
Chair, if in
invite...
that case, let me put forward, because I have, if you may allow, because I requested for more time because I translated it for Dr. Rabi.
Yeah, but with due respect with our members that we're giving them 5 minutes allocation, we just want to be fair with other members. But
Madam
anyway,
Chair, if I can have like
if I can finish muna, Rep. Garien. Anyway, your concern on the FDA, probably Secretary Duque, we can ask Director General Domingo to join the press conference of the DOH and explain all the concerns, issues raised by Representative Garin, the details
Madam Chair,
of that.
if you don't want that discussed, can I just move to the important topics because I just took off? May I put forward just 3 suggestions, Madam Chair, if you will allow me?
So we're not going to recognize Representative...
Because I have more important issues to discuss. That's very important, and I can see Dr. Rabi very excited. But because I am not given much time, I have recommendations to the DOH, if you will allow me. With due courtesy, Madam Chair, I believe that these statements should not be left on the media alone, because this is a discussion should be left internally within WHO, DOH, and RITM and the experts.
But with the presence of Dr. Representative Garin on your concerns.
Yeah,
so
Madam Chair, ayaw niyo pong marinig si Dr. Rabi on the testing kit because WHO is very important here.
So that's
they
the
cannot
last
be on the
concern.
press con. It's not my major concern. It's on the address and the actions of
Yeah,
WHO.
okay, Dr. Rabi, you are now recognized, and after you, we can proceed on another interpolator.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Representative. Very quickly and very briefly, we have requested both the researcher and the DG verbally to provide us with the details so that we can do some kind of assessment. I have also facilitated a connection of the research group with the emergency use list to provide the necessary information. My understanding is that that has yet not been forthcoming. So we are not in a position to comment on the kit as it is.
So the WHO is not aware of this testing kit?
We haven't been shared the details
Yeah.
yet.
Let me move forward. I'll be in discussion with you on that matter. Madam Chair, if I may, very quickly. Secretary, kanina po, nasabi po ni Congresswoman Stella Kimbos, I was in discussion with her yesterday on the manner, sabi nga ng private hospitals, at may mga reklamo nga ngayon, nawawalan silang ng space. Would you agree with me that the health workers are not only at most risk, but the health workers can also be the carriers of this infection from one patient to another patient?
Last question, Representative Garin.
That will be highly unlikely once the IPC measures are put in place. Infection prevention control measures.
Yes, precisely, Mr. Chair. Honorable Secretary, I asked that to take off from what Stella was saying earlier. Would you consider, because everybody is panicking, which should not be the case, would you consider, instead as part of preparedness, getting a hospital or an institution or a facility that you can prepare as of the moment, separate and distinct? Ibig po sabihin, magkakaroon po ng isang facility na dun lang po lahat ng COVID-19 patients. In that way, the problem of machines, ventilators, and I see PHA nodding with me, yung ating pong dedicated health workers and that dedicated institution will instead be there. Kung papayag po kayo na ganon, ibig po sabihin, we don't contaminate other hospitals. I know if you do stringent measures, pwede yun. But look at what China did. They accepted patients, and patients in that hospital also got infected. So as of now, you have like pending buildings that are not being used, new hospitals in construction. For the meantime, that we don't have a vaccine and we don't have a medicine, that can be a COVID-19 hospital with dedicated workforce, so that those doctors, nurses, and other paramedical health workers will not handle other patients as well. And what would be the comment of WHO on this, and Secretary Duque on this? And last question lang po, Secretary. I have the question from Congressman Barazaga, if you have a building similar to that. And would you now recommend flu and pneumonia vaccine? Because these are actually the secondary bacterial and viral pneumonia affecting COVID patients. And Honorable Secretary, a lot of congressmen and colleagues are asking me, we have been teaching our patients regarding hand washing. What would be our advice on those dating and kissing their girlfriends?
Secretary Duque, can you respond on that?
The model that the good representative has raised is that of China, where China built a hospital in 10 days, and it's all there. I mean, so it's a very ideal scenario, but given our constraints, I don't think we will be able to do that expeditiously. I don't know of any building that is large enough to accommodate a projected number of COVID patients. But we're looking at, if you're going to look at the attack rate, at least January, February, March in China, it's about 100,000 cases. If you divide that by the total population, it's about 0.00007. And if we extrapolate that to the Philippine population, you're looking by this time dapat 7,000 cases ka na. But it's not.
Secretary, you have buildings, new hospitals. I'm
Madam
not
Chair,
sure if
point
you
of
have...
order. Yes. Madam Chair, may I request, Madam Chair, that the able and learned senior deputy minority floor leader be the first one to be recognized on the second round of our questioning, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, you can have the second round as part of the interpellators. Sec Duque, can you respond on the last question?
I think the testing kit question is addressed to Dr. Rabi.
Okay, Dr. Rabi, on the testing kit.
Commented on the testing kit, the fact that we haven't seen the data.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
On Madam
yeah.
Chair, on the pneumonia and flu vaccines, they are prescribed for people more at risk, and the vaccines are formulated expecting which predominant flu strain will dominate, especially in the northern hemisphere. We cannot say how effective it will be in preventing this being the flu season, how effective it will be in preventing all respiratory infections that are circulating, but they may have a protective effect in protecting the most vulnerable groups. I'm talking about the elderly and those having underlying medical conditions. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rabi. May I now recognize Conghil Acosta as next interpellator.
Madam Chair, can we kiss or can we not kiss? Secretary Duque.
Risk assessment, we have to subject the kissers to a risk assessment.
Pwede daw po basta mag-asawa. Pag hindi, bawal. Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, my questions would be in relation to the questions propounded by Kong Gato. Although the cases are right here in NCR, Madam Chair, for me, living in the island province, SEC, what would be the contingency? What are the preparations being made by DOH on how to combat NCOV in the islands in the Philippines, especially island provinces, Mr. Secretary Duque?
Palawan, we have our Mimaropa region under which the Palawan province belongs. And all of our guidelines have been disseminated to all of our regional offices. And whatever is the preparation being done in NCR, that is reflected as well in the preparations made for island provinces under the jurisdiction of the DOH regional office.
Yes,
so
but
it's standardized, Your Honor.
yeah, but our problem, Madam Chair, is that, for example, in our province, our regional office is in Mindoro. So right now, Mr. Secretary, is there no way of testing within the province of Palawan? Or all testing materials should be sent via air going to Manila?
Meron po tayong mga RESU, yung Regional Epidemiology Surveillance Units. I just don't have the operational detail of the actual transport, the system of sending the specimen for testing. But I'm sure we have couriers, I am told, couriers who submit these specimens to the RITM.
Thank you. My second question, Madam Chair, is this symptomatic versus asymptomatic. Based on the data given, there are 33 confirmed cases, Mr. Secretary. I would assume that all of these are symptomatic patients.
They are, 3 of them are asymptomatic, in fact. Others are mildly symptomatic to moderate, and we have 2 critical. In fact, they are intubated at the moment. One is a Filipino, one is an American.
Thank you. Yung po yung kinakatakot ko, Madam Chair, yung asymptomatic. So, paano po nalalaman, paano yung testing sa kanila? Kung asymptomatic, ibig sabihin ho, walang di ba? Hindi nakikita, walang manifestation. So, paano ho na nakita na meron silang NCOV, yung asymptomatic na dalawa, Mr. Secretary?
Well, they are they were identified through contact tracing done by our RESU, and they were swabbed and tested positive for COVID.
Okay. Next question, Madam Chair, is that out of the 33 po, patients, ilan ho yung local transmission, via local transmission? Vis-a-vis yung nanggaling ho sa sa labas.
We call it technically as localized cases. No?
Yeah.
So we have 30 localized cases. The 3 are imported cases, Chinese nationals, residents of Wuhan City.
Thank you. Madam Chair, this question would be asked to the ILG, sir. With the declaration of state of public health emergency throughout the Philippines, are LGUs now allowed to tap within their calamity funds, even those provinces and cities without cases yet of NCOV-19, sir?
Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, kung pagbabasihan ho natin yung sa batas, o yung sa isang policy na lumabas tungkol sa paggamit ng calamity fund, mukhang hindi pa ho ito pwedeng itap as of the moment. If I may cite, Madam Chair, yung isang provision on the criteria is when there is an extremely high incidence of a certain disease, whether communicable or non-communicable. So, as of the moment, Madam Chair, ito pa ho yung pinag-uusapan pa within the task force then and based on the most recent directive by the President, Mr. Chair.
My problem with that, Madam Chair, is that based on the statement of Secretary Duque, it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when, especially as to those provinces without cases of NCOV. Better yet, we declare now that they can use the calamity funds to combat, to prevent. Although there is a preparedness fund, pero meron po yung quick response. Yun po yung inaano ng ating mga LGUs, kung pwede na pong maitap yung quick response fund sa calamity. Dahil po ang hirap sabi nga ho ni Secretary, it's a matter of when. So technically ho, sa lahat ng lugar sa Pilipinas, talaga ho magkakaroon.
Madam Chair, one of the 6 objectives for which the President had declared a state of public health emergency includes precisely the access to sufficient funding, especially by the local government units.
Ma'am, last question, Madam Chair. Secretary, kanina po nasabi nyo, nasa door 4 na tayo. Tama po ba? Door 4, level 1. Tama po ba, Mr. Secretary?
Exactly, sir.
Yung akin lang pong tanong bilang tatay ng 2 maliit na bata pa, Mr. Secretary, kasi po doon sa last presentation, moving from one local transmission to sustained community transmission can happen very quickly. So, how quickly is very quickly, Mr. Secretary?
Well, if you have several local transmissions, and this will go on, and the evidence that indeed community spread, sustained human-to-human transmission is already ongoing. So you're already, for all intents and purposes, in level 2 of Code Red, where you have now a set of interventions to include the preceding interventions under level 1. So it will be now a longer list of interventions, one of which will be the strict community quarantine or lockdown. That's where the issue of the lockdown may begin to be seriously considered. The suspension of classes, which we have done in NCR, is also to support the goal of social distancing. The preparedness of the unaffected communities and regions and agencies of government, the uniformed personnel, AFP and PNP, to really help the local government units mount an effective COVID-19 response, among others. So I've said that, and the preceding interventions are in conjunction with the raising of Code Red Level 1, as I have already dictated.
Thank you,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Representative Acosta. May I recognize...
Live mula Congress, natunghayan po natin ang ginagawang pagtalakay ng House Committee on Health para tugunan ang COVID-19 cases sa bansa. Samantala, Mayor Francis Zamora kinumpirmang may 7 ng kaso ng coronavirus disease sa San Juan City. May report si Madeline Villar Moratillo.
Kinumpirma ni San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora na mayroon ng 7 kumpirmadong kaso ng COVID o coronavirus disease 2019 sa lungsod. Pero paglilinaw ni Zamora sa isang forum sa Maynila na ang 7 na ito ay kasama sa 33 na una nang inireport ng Department of Health. Ang 4 niya sa 7 na ito, regular na nagtutungo sa prayer hall sa Green Hills kung saan matatandaan na natukoy na regular ding nagpupunta roon ang 62 anyos na COVID-positive patient at unang local case ng virus sa bansa. Pero ayon kay Zamora, 2 sa 4 na ito mayroong travel histories sa Indonesia, habang inaalam pa kung paano naman nahawa ng virus ang 2 pang pasyente. Aminado naman si Zamora na isa rin sa tinitignan nila ang posibilidad na ang 4 na ito ay kaso ng local transmission, lalo na't natukoy na pare-pareho silang nagtungo sa nasabing prayer hall sa Green Hills. Umapila din ang alkalde sa publiko na huwag magpanik. Ang mahalaga, pangalagaan aniya at ang katawan at maging panatilihin yung kalinisan sa sarili at palakasin ang resistensya bilang pangontra sa COVID-19. Para sa Eagle News, Madeline Villar Moratillo, I'm Juan with 25.
Samantala, malabo pang magpatupad ng lockdown sa bansa kaugnay ng pagkalat ng coronavirus disease. Ito naman ang pahayag ni DILG Secretary Eduardo Anyo sa harap ng pangamba ng marami dahil sa patuloy na pagtaas ng kaso ng COVID-19 sa bansa. Nagbabalik sa detalye si Madeline Villar Moratillo.
Sa gitna na rin ang pagpapanik at pangamba ng lahat dahil sa patuloy na pagtaas ng bilang ng mga nagpopositibo sa coronavirus disease 2019, iginiit ni DILG Secretary Eduardo Anyo na sa ngayon ay malabo pa ang posibilidad ng pagpapatupad ng lockdown.
Pagka dumating tayo sa sub-level 2 of the Code Red, ito yung tinatawag natin na confirm na yung community transmission. Doon tayo pa pwedeng mag-lockdown, mag-stop na ng school, mag-suspend ng work, but it will be depending on the area. Iba-ibang interpretation yan. So, pwedeng by LGU or adjacent LGUs or the whole province or region. So, sa ngayon, wala pa tayo sa ganung level. Nandito pa lang tayo sa level 1.
Paliwanag ni Anyo, nasa Code Red sub-level 1 pa lang naman ngayon kung saan suspension ng klase pa lang ang ipinatutupad. Kung sakaling magpatupad ng lockdown, tiniyak ng opisyal na handa naman ang gobyerno.
Yes, prepared tayo kung magkakaroon ng lockdown. We have the Philippine National Police and the Armed Forces of the Philippines to help the LGU. As much possible, kailangan kasi makontain natin.
Mayroon anyang 2 uri ng lockdown.
Our country is not as so much high-tech as other countries. In fact, our testing kit ay kailangan ay WHO validated because ayaw natin magkaroon ng false negative. Meaning say, nag-negative siya, yung pala ay hindi naman pala totoo. So makakahawa pa rin siya. So kailangan yung testing kit mo talagang approve ng WHO. Now, if there is a transmission, the best that we can do is really stop the spread of the virus. How? By ensuring that there is no, mass gathering, and if possible, or probably we need to impose the lockdown for 14 days. Kasi yan yung incubation time ng virus. So with that, matitigil mo yung activity, mapiprevent mo yung pag-spread.
Ayon naman kay MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia, ang lockdown ay nagkadepende sa magiging sitwasyon o kung mas lalawak pa ang pagkalat ng virus.
Yung total lockdown, ito din yung Code Red 2 no? It depends. Sabi nga ni kagabi sa meeting, yung lockdown may 2 klase yan no? For example, sa Italy, ang nilockdown isang region, no? Yung region na yan, pwede silang lumabas, may public transport, pwede kang maglakad, mag-grocery, etc. No? Yung pangalawang lockdown na yung parang sa Wuhan na lockdown ka, hanggang bahay ka lang, hindi ka pwede lumabas. Ano? So yan, hindi pa napapag-usapan yan. Pero of course, no, ang gobyerno po nakaredy yan kung ano man ang lalabas no, after itong hanggang March 14 na titignan natin kung mag-spread ba ng todo to or kaya na i-contain. Ang sa atin, wag tayo magbigay ng panic.
Para naman kay San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora, hindi pa dapat na pag-usapan ang issue ng lockdown.
Ako ng executive order patungkol dito, nag-cancel na rin kami ng ating mga malakihang public engagements. Ako, sang-ayon ako ron at karamihan sa mga ibang mayors ay sang-ayon din. At kung sakaling ang tumaas ang code red to sub-level 2, then we may consider doing this. Kagabi, pinag-usapan yung mga ginagawa sa ibang bansa, particularly dito nga sa China, sa Wuhan, at sa iba pang bansa. So iba-ibang modelo ang ginagawa, ngunit ang nakitang naging mabisang pamamalakad ay itong sa China sapagkat talagang nag-lockdown nga sila. But sa puntong ito ay hindi pa yan kinukonsidera sapagkat ang bilang naman po ng confirmed cases ay hindi pa ganun kalaki kung ikukumpara sa ibang mga bansa.
Si Makati City Mayor Abby Binay naman, iginiit na dapat ay business as usual lang sa kabila ng banta ng COVID-19.
So business as usual, but the students are all required to stay at home. So yun ang tasking namin. Siguraduhin na ang mga bata ay nasa bahay. Yun lang po. Wala hong lockdown. Kaya hindi ho tayo kailangan mag-panic or maging maalarma.
Pero si Marikina City Mayor Marcelino Teodoro, bukas naman sa ideya ng lockdown kung kakailanganin.
We should take that into serious consideration. The lockdown, maring hindi sa buong Metro Manila, pwedeng mag-lockdown isang barangay, maring mag-lockdown isang syudad, not necessarily to paralyze the whole of the metropolitan Manila.
Pero binigyan diin ng alkalde ang kahalagahan ng pagbibigay ng edukasyon sa publiko kaugnay sa COVID-19. Ang Pangulong Duterte una nang nagsabi na masyado pang maaga para pag-usapan ang posibilidad ng pagpapatupad ng lockdown. Para sa Eagle News, Madeline Villar Moratillo, I'm One with 25.
Nagkansela na rin ng pasok ang iba pang bayan at iba't ibang mga lalawigan. Ito ay kasunod ng deklarasyon ng State of Public Health Emergency sa bansa dahil sa COVID-19. Wala na rin pasok sa buong lalawigan ng Bulacan hanggang Marso 14, habang nagsuspende na rin ng pasok ang bayan ng Capas Tarlac. Ang buong lalawigan ng Cavite ay wala na rin pasok hanggang sa Sabado. Suspendido na rin ang klase sa Rodriguez, San Mateo at Cainta sa Rizal. Marami na rin bayan sa Batangas ang nagkansela ng klase hanggang Sabado. Central Luzon, Bulacan Province hanggang March 14, Capas Tarlac hanggang March 14, Calabar Zone, Cavite Province hanggang March 14, Rizal Rodriguez, Rizal San Mateo hanggang March 13, Cainta Rizal hanggang March 14, Batangas hanggang March 14, Calaca, San Jose, Laurel, San Luis, Padre Garcia, Calatagan, Santa Teresita, Lemery, Rosario, Balete, Cuenca, Ibaan, Tingloy, Agoncillo, Taysan, Tuy, Malvar, Lobo, Alitagtag, Mabini, San Nicolas at Taal. Ang mga araw na walang pasok ay gagamiting pagkakataon para makapagsagawa ng disinfection sa mga paaralan. Samantala, nagpalabas ng guidelines ang Department of Education o DepEd sa ipatutupad na schedule para sa final examination at graduation rites ng mga paaralan sa harap na rin ng dumaraming bilang ng kaso ng coronavirus disease sa bansa. Sa inilabas na abiso ng DepEd, itinakda mula March 16 hanggang March 20 ang final examinations ng mga eskwelahan sa Metro Manila na gagawing staggered basis. Layunin nitong mabawasan ang dami ng mga estudyanteng papasok sa kada nabanggit na araw ng pagsusulit, habang ang mga eskwelahan sa labas ng Metro Manila ay maaaring magsagawa ng fourth quarter examinations mula March 16 hanggang 20 kung saan hahatiin din ang bilang ng mga estudyante. Ang iba pang mga kinakailangang school requirements matapos ang fourth quarter exam ay gagawin na lamang na home-based assignments. Itinakda naman ang schedule ng graduation o moving up rights mula April 13 hanggang 17. Samantala, sinuspinde na rin ng Civil Service Commission o CSC ang civil service exams sa linggo dahil sa banta ng COVID-19. Ayon kay CSC Commissioner Eileen Lizada, ito ay bilang pagtalima sa pagdedeklara ng Malacanang ng State of Public Health Emergency dahil sa nasabing sakit. Nasa mahigit 43,000 ang kukuha sana ng nasabing eksaminasyon sa Metro Manila. Samantala, ikinukonsidera ng gobyerno ang 4-day work week sa ilang government offices. Ito ay bilang precautionary measures sa banta pa rin ng COVID-19. Sinabi ni Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles, maaari nila itong ipatupad kung patuloy ang clustering ng COVID-19 cases. Anya, kapag naipatupad ang 4-day work week, hindi naman ito magiging nationwide kundi sa mga lugar lamang na may mataas na concentration ng COVID-19 cases. Patuloy pa ang isinasagawang pagtalakay at pag-aaral sa nasabing panukala. Itutuloy pa rin ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ang pagbisita niya sa Boracay sa gitna ng banta ng COVID-19. Ayon kay Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo, bibisita ang Pangulo sa Boracay sa Huwebes, March 12 para mamahagi ng land ownership certificates. Pero dinaan niya mag-iikot ang Pangulo sa Boracay dahil mayroon pa siyang isang event kinagabihan.
No, I don't think he will go around. After the event, there is another event in the evening.
Saan, sir? Sa Boracay din?
Doon din. One of the hotels, I think, to meet with some tourists or what. Guest of Secretary Bernard.
An epidemic.
Sa iba pa nating balita, arestado naman sa ikinasang drug bypass operation ng Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency o PDEA ang 2 dayuhan at isang Pinay na pawang mga umano'y notorious pusher sa McKinley Road sa Makati City kagabi. Aabot sa 4 na milyong piso na halaga ng shabu ang nasabat sa mga suspects. Sir Erlo Bringas sa detalye.
Nasabat ng Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency mga plastic ng shabu na ito sa 3 notorious na pusher sa ikinasa nilang drug bypass operation sa Makati City kagabi. 2 dayuhan ang naaresto na kinilalang si Ifeanyi Agustin Chinueva na isang Nigerian national na target ng operasyon at 2 pa nitong kasama na si Anton Nego Futi na isa namang Cameroonian at isang Pinay nitong asawa na si Janet Futi. Ayon sa PDEA, sinurveillance ng 3 suspect dahil sa talamak kanilang pagbebenta ng mga ito ng shabu matapos na magpositibo agad nilang ikinasa ang operasyon laban sa 3.
Ayon sa PDEA, kabilang ang 3 suspect na ito sa isang grupo na nagsusupply di umano ng droga sa Bulacan maging sa iba pang parte ng Metro Manila.
Parating lang ginagawa yan. Kung titingnan nyo yung na-recover nating vehicle, 2 sasakyan yan. Yung isa lookout. Para feeling nila magiging secured sila sa transaction. Sa build-up nga namin, kilala na namin. Alam na namin paano sila nag-dispose.
Tila tikom at ayaw namang magbigay ng pahayag ng mga naarestong suspect.
This is yours.
It's not mine. I don't have nothing to say.
How about you, sir?
I'm here to my son. That's all.
Nasabat sa mga ito ang 600 grams ng shabu na nagkakahalaga ng 4 million pesos. Maharap naman sa kasong paglabag sa dangerous drugs sa mga naarestong suspect. Naalam na ng PDEA kung kabilang ang mga ito sa isang sindikato.
Hindi pa natin totally masabi yun. Pero as of now, meron kaming grupo na tinitingnan na kinabibilangan nila.
Para sa Eagle News, Arbingas, I am 1V25.
Samantala, mga commuter at tauhan ng Light Rail Transit o LRT puspusan ng paghanda at pag-iingat laban sa COVID-19. Si Eagle News correspondent Christine Dante sa detalye.
Puspusan ang ginagawang pag-iingat at paghahanda ng ilang commuters at tauhan ng Light Rail Transit o LRT para makaiwas na mahawahan ng COVID-19 matapos ang pagkumpirma ng Department of Health o DOH ng mga kasong naitala sa bansa. Bukod sa pagsusuot ng face mask ay may mga sanitizer ding inilagay bago pa man pumasok sa istasyon ng LRT. Maging sa mga counter ng tickets ay may inilagay ding sanitizer bilang pag-iingat sa nasabing sakit. Ayon sa pamunuan ng LRT, nililinis at dinidisinfect nito ang bawat train na dumarating para mas masiguro ang kaligtasan ng kanilang mga pasahero. Samantala, kapansin-pansin din na mas dumami ang mga pasaherong nakasuot ng face mask matapos ang sunod-sunod na anunsyo ng mga kumpirmadong tinamaan ng COVID-19. Ayon sa DOH, nasa 35 na ang kumpirmadong tinamaan ng nasabing sakit. Pinapayuhan naman ng lahat na maging alerto at malinis imbes na matakot at magpanik. Laging maghugas ng kamay at mag-sanitizer at umiwas sa matataong lugar. Para sa Eagle News, kasama si Roberto Santos, ito po si Christine Dantes and I am one with 25.
At yan po ang mga balitang pumapagaspas sa amang panig ng Pilipinas. Hanggang sa muli, ito ang Agila, Pilipinas. At sa pangalan po ng mga bumubuo ng Eagle News Service, ako po si Cez Alvarez and I'm one with 25.